Hey guys. So let's take a look at Doug Engelbert. They're seriously not joking. You can search this, and I've got Wikipedia, of course, pulled up so you can see that. But there is something called the mother of all demos. And the reason they call it the mother of all demos is because there was so much that this guy did. Just blazed the trail. Engelbert is definitely a visionary. So let's take a look. He released something um, presented. This was presented on December 9th, 1968, right? 1968. And it was given at the IEEE conference in association with computer machinery. That's what they called it. And he released what was known as the online system, or NLS, and you can look at that. But he spent 90 minutes and he went through things that basically said, hey, we can do stuff with computers other than having this command line. Right now, we've looked at that before. Launchcommand.com. No, that's not going to work, is it? All right, so I'll launch command. And again, you'll be able to see what we're looking at. Right, we can do more. Basically, I'm telling you, the systems that they were using that were these mainframe systems were much worse than this that you see on your screen now. Much worse, much more difficult, even though it was a command line driven interface. It wasn't as easy as using DOS was. And so he actually introduced Windows. Now, not Microsoft Windows, but being able to put data in a window on your screen and have data in a different window on that same screen. So you have these different windows with data on it, right? So in other words, I don't have to use the whole screen to display one set of data. I can actually show something here and here and here, something that we do all the time. Yeah, he actually released hypertext. Now, if you read anything about Tim Berners-Lee, which I have listed down in the 2000s, I mean the 90s, he took hypertext and this is how it worked, right? This is how you code it. This is how we make it happen in a browser. But the concept of here's some text that's linked and you can click on it. This is actually right here, down here. That's a mouse. So it had a tail. They called it a mouse. And so you would roll that thing around on the table and it would move the cursor around. And then you could click on text and it would take you to a different set of information. Of course, graphics, which I mean, that's not a major thing because everybody kind of understands that, computers are going to go graphical. But efficient navigation, how you put in command input, video conference, how video conferencing could happen over a computer, the computer mouse, an actual word processor that actually would function correctly, right? Actually, I can type that in and you can watch this video. It's 90 minutes long, or there's actually videos you can search through on YouTube, Mother of All Demos, and there's a short one so that, it shows the different things. Revision control for programming, right? This is this version and so on. And then collaborative real-time editor. What? Like so many people get so excited when they're like in Google Docs. You can both work on it at the same time and it'll show you the other person's edits. Really? That's an exciting thing? Because in 1968, that was a real exciting thing. Now I'm not sure that that's an exciting thing. Right. So he basically presented what is a computer going to look like for us? What are we going to do? How is it going to function? This is how it can function. Look at all this stuff. 1968. And pretty much nobody cared. Right. Of course people cared, right? If I was a student back then, I would have been like, whoa, brain blown. This is incredible. I can't believe it, right? Those of us that would be in technology or were in technology then, right? Fantastic. Cannot believe it. Just so cool. When is this going to happen for us, right? But it didn't happen. for years, right? I've talked about the fact that if you want to look up the Alto computer, so Xerox Alto, we'll pull that one up. I've got Windows is doing some updates behind the scenes here, so it's a little sluggish. But there's the Alto computer, and it was really the first computer system that was based on the GUI, or the graphical information system. It's the one that Steve Jobs went over and saw working and said, that's incredible. And again, Steve Jobs licensed some of their stuff and made the Mac OS that we know. Well, it's not even the same OS anymore, but made that first graphical system that was sold on a Macintosh computer in 1984. And a lot of people go, oh, 1984, that was the first real graphical system. No, that was the first successful mass marketing of one. This is the Alto computer. It's as big as a refrigerator that you'd put in an office or something, a little wider. And the thing was really expensive. Cost as much as $100,000. I think the low end for starting it was $16,000 for one of those. But if we look at the Alto, and they might have, there's their mouse. There's their graphical system right here. So this is what their graphical system looked like. Right, so you realize that these people that are over here at Xerox PARC, that was a research facility, Xerox PARC, P-A-R-C, Palo Alto Research Center, I believe is what that stood for, so they put into play what Doug was talking about. And no doubt some of them were probably his students, honestly. And so he heavily influenced what was going to happen just, 10, 12 years later. Now, at the same time, they also did their own research. Like, if we're going to implement this graphical system, how should it be implemented? What should it be looked like? Because that's different, right? Than just saying, oh, we're going to put in a graphical system. Look what Doug did. If you watch the mother of all demos, you realize, okay, he really didn't go through a lot of graphical stuff because the system just couldn't do it, even though it was this powerful mainframe system. So I'll just do a general search so we won't be on Wikipedia here, so I can show you some images of the Alto and also the OS. Because they did try to sell it, and they tried to sell it for quite a while, and they just really didn't get anywhere. As you can imagine, the price was just way too high. Now, we understand that the truth of the matter is that if they had probably kept going, there may have been no Mac computer. That's what I should say, right? So they would have had competition to it, but the other computers wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Why did it fail? Well, because Xerox was a paper company, right? They were a copy machine company, and you see that in the videos if you're watching the videos. So you probably haven't seen it yet because I think it's in the third or fourth one where they really get into it. And so I don't want to tell you too much because you have to write a little review on that, and I want you to watch it because it's got a ton more stuff than what I talk about. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that Doug was highly, highly influential. He did so much and really did not receive the praise at the time for what he did. But he does now. Everybody knows the mother of all demo. You have now been introduced to it, so you're aware of it. And that's the second video for this little section. And the next one, I'm going to take a look at some of the other cool things that people did at that time. All right. Whoops.